Good evening, Reds, and welcome to Jarvis's Corner. Yeah, today I have a packed program for you guys. We will go through a lot of the latest news. We will talk about the Bayern Munich Man United Champions League game, and we will talk a little bit about the future of Man United, what core player to keep, and how we move forward from here. So I will see you guys in a couple of seconds.
There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. We can roll the image, make it flutter. We can change the focus to a soft blur, or sharpen it to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your television set. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to
Good morning, or good evening, or afternoon, or wherever you are in the world. I see we have guys on the panel tonight. It's Stu Wally and Tom Journalist One. So, how are you doing, guys?
Yeah, good. Busy week already. Rubbish weekend for football. We didn't even get the mighty Tipton Town. Didn't even get to play. Our pitch was just totally waterlogged in one side, so we didn't get to take the pitch. So the old plume of feathers had to stay tucked in, unfortunately, rather than how it should well be, which is displayed like the peacock I am when I cross that white line, Jarvis.
Yeah. I know how it is, and it will probably be like this for the rest of your life. Playing football, it's just the be all and end all of everything, and I feel the same. It's just the way football is. Once a football fanatic, you will always be a football fanatic when it comes to playing football. Tom, how are you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Similar to Stu, quite busy. Had a couple of meetings this morning. I've signed a couple of paperwork and everything. Been quite busy. Has been scrambled with numbers and logistics, and I don't really want to get into it, but it's good to relax, I guess, and talk about football. Maybe not something positive, but what can we say?
No. It could be positive.
It could be positive.
Try to keep it positive at least. Yeah. Well, it's good to have you on. And in Norway, the weather is cold as usual. Today was -9 degrees, so it wasn't like too bad, but -9 is pretty cold.
He says that while he's sat there wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's like 8 degrees in the UK, and we're all like, ugh.
Yeah, we shiver at like 4 or 5 degrees. Never mind minus.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. But it will be like this at least until the end of February. So it's just the way it is. I'm used to the game. It's how you live, how it is to live in the northern Norway. But if you guys want to ever come to Northern Norway, call me up and I will show you, because we have the fantastic aurora lights in the sky, and everything is like, it's very beautiful and untouched nature. So if you're into that, that's this is the perfect place.
Invitation accepted.
Good. I just want to bring up and say hi to the VAR room. I see you guys. We have Jonathan Liljenberg from Sweden here. Hi, Jonathan. Good to have you on. We have Viking Red. He say hi, lads. Hi, everyone. He waves. So good to have you on, Viking. And we have Neil Driscoll. He's been a member for 4 months. So let's just start the show.
I'd give him the blue shades, Jarvis. I'd give him the shades. Look at that. Well, Neil.
Thank you, Neil Driscoll, for staying a member for 4 months. That's fantastic. You're a true supporter of the channel, and we really appreciate it. Thank you. And he comes in and say good evening to Jarvis, Stu, and to Tom. So let's not forget Tom. And we have the big man himself, the chef from all the Michelin restaurants in Europe, Alien Tenno, comes up and say big up Tom, Jarvis, Stu, and the chat. And we have George Best 1007. Good evening, gentlemen. So that's fantastic. Viking Red comes in with a comment here. He said, yeah, bro, I can't keep up with this club negativity based on making dollars. These Glazers have shafted us. 18 years of greed has ruined the fan base. Yes, that's spot on. I think that's a good comment, and it's on topic, because today I wanted to talk a little bit about this negativity that's hanging over the fan base at the moment. I feel that the Man United fans are starved for success and good football and winning, and now it's taking a toll on everybody here. You know, it's starting to get a little bit toxic, a little bit too much negativity, and we all know what to come. We have Bayern Munich and Liverpool in the next 2 games, so we could even get worse. So I want to just bring it like a question for you guys. How do you see or assess the situation we're in at the moment?
I'll start if you don't mind, Tom. Jarvis, I was on a show 2 years ago, maybe even a little bit longer, and I was asked the same question about how I felt the club was and what did I feel the club's trajectory was going to be. And I made a point about, if you look at the history of Manchester United, you'll see that our club trajectory is where we are today. It's like an oscilloscope in many ways. That's you know, in general life, that's what particularly happens. But I actually made a point a week before and I can't remember the politician's name now, when I described myself as a legacy fan. And I described myself as a legacy fan at that particular time. And I maintain my viewpoint is because I'm not of interest to Manchester United. My age group is not of interest to Manchester United. What is of interest to Manchester United is my son, your son, Tom, if you've got children, your kids. The FIFA generation is what interests Manchester United. And this is where football is going. And the real essence and a heartbeat and everything that makes you want to put on your football kit on whatever day you play. It doesn't matter whatever day you play, whatever level you play, it's an irrelevance. Whatever makes you want to do that, they don't care. Unless you're at a certain age group and they can look at you and think what they can do in the long term with you. I'm a 30-year-old season ticket holder, Jarvis. You know, my first match was 1977. I was 7 years old, and it was away at Wolves. And it was only away at Wolves because it was local to where my uncle had come up at Christmas. And that was my hook. That was my education. My football education was going with a 7-year-old small boy, being able to walk into Molineux and watch the great Manchester United, and actually at the time, Jarvis, the great Wolves team. Tom, you may remember, he was, Kenny Hibbett, Eminent Hughes, people of that ilk and accolade of player. Andy Gray, we're talking some supreme footballers. Willie Carr, we really are talking some supreme footballers, and we had a very mediocre side, Jarvis, in the 70s. We had some wonderfully talented footballers, Sammy McElroy, Gordon McQueen, Gary Bailey in goal. He was coming through, Steve Pears, the Greenough brothers, Pearson. We had some wonderful players, but we couldn't put it together on the pitch. But the difference between then and today is that it didn't matter so much. It mattered, but it didn't matter so much as what it means today, because the optics were totally different back in the 70s and the 80s. And when you look at what happened in 81 when Big Ron came in, and then 86 when Sir Alex came in, and then 2013 when Moyes came in, the difference in time and the way that the game changed with Sky coming in 92, 90. Was it 92, 93, Tom?
I think it was 93.
First season Premier League, yeah.
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 So when they came in, it came completely different. The whole landscape of football changed. Your £500 a week player became £3,500 a week. Roy Keane at Nottingham Forest, as an example. Alan Shearer, I believe, was the first 50 grand a week player. So everything changes when that type of money comes in. And every one of us, every football fan, has forgotten why you fell in love with football in the first place. And now we're bothered about catching City. We're bothered about catching Liverpool. We're bothered about catching a resurgent Aston Villa. We're bothered about catching Newcastle United. But here's the key. And Aston Villa is a great yardstick. And Nottingham Forest, they're great yardsticks. They haven't seen anything like success at all since Mortimer popped one in the 80s for Villa. They've not seen that. And you don't see their fans getting angry, upset, you know. So we used to carpet of success. My son in particular is he's 22 years old. He's 23 in January. So, you know, he is used to carpet of success. Whereas I'm not. I've lived through.
Yeah, it's different expectations.
Living today. So people ask me about, we shouldn't lose 3-0 against Bournemouth. Who's to say we shouldn't lose 3-0 against Bournemouth? You know, who can, with any authority, turn around to tell anyone in the chat, which is wonderful again tonight, guys. Thank you ever so much. Tom and you, Jarvis, who have all played football, the guys in the chat, that you don't have any right losing to Bournemouth. It's rubbish. It's rubbish. Look at the league today. If you can't think that you don't have a right to lose football, please go and support ice hockey. Go and support tennis. Go and support somebody else. Because in football, and I'll sign off now, and I'm sorry for ranting, you win, you lose, you draw, period. That's all you can do. You can either win, lose, or draw. That is it. You can't do anything else. And we are sitting in sixth position, and we're all wondering why we're sitting in sixth position.
Yeah.
And I come back to everything that I said at the very, very beginning. It's the beauty and the wonder of football. And I just implore every fan to get back and start thinking about what it was that made you kick a ball in the first place. And that's how I view it. So I can't get angry, Jarvis. I can't be upset. It can't hurt me.
No. I think it's very interesting hearing from from a legacy fan, 30 years.
I get it.
And your perspective and view of things. I think a lot of people needs to look at themselves and look in the mirror and say to themselves, why did I really fall in love with this football club and what's my expectations going forward? And we are not entitled to win every game. It's just not how it is. It's a competitive landscape and going forward, we will probably not be the best in the next 3 to 5 years, and things will take time. So we gotta be a little bit more patient as a fan base, and maybe sometimes we just gotta think more positive and support the team in a way, even though we don't like the owners and the high wages and all of that. But when it comes to football, 11 against 11 on the pitch,
if you pull up Alien Tenno's comments, and he's absolutely right. Liverpool smashed everyone in the 70s and part of the 80s, smashed everyone to pieces. They were brilliant. The way they played the game, they were hot. There was a mixture of hard, solid players, skillful players, super subs in Fairclough. He's absolutely right. And Nintendo is different time, same feeling, and he's right. I've lived through that part, and that's why I can handle it. That's why Alien Tenno can handle it. Now, somebody else in the VAR room made a brilliant point as well, and I can't argue with him. Malps, I hope I've got that right. And he's saying it's not about losing games, it's the way we lose games which is the issue. And I get that. Now, back in, and Alien Tenno will probably back me up here, back in our day, you could get away with things you just couldn't get away with today. So if you were losing a game and any particular player was dominating the game, it'd be stretching off. You'd be phoning your mate up, Leeds, get Hunter down here, will you? Get him or whatever. Chopper Harris at Chelsea. These are the types of players, and you could get away with that, and you can't today. So, Nintendo is absolutely right, and I get what Malps is saying. I do. I've got no issues with the way that people are feeling.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out that I've seen trajectory, and I'm just seeing it again, and I guess I can deal with it a little bit easier. Doesn't mean I'm not hurt. It doesn't mean that I'm not a true red, because trust me, I promise you, I am. I was going to say then, Jarvis, I bleed red, but I do anyway. So that doesn't work.
Good one, Steve.
Sorry, Tom. I'll let you say.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Before I let Tom in, I just want to bring up a couple of. We have new arrivals in the chat. I see Stephanie Griffin come in here. They say, "Big up, Jarvis, do Tom the truth plus VAR rumors." And Stephanie Griffin, as always, keeping the count of the likes, so people remember, hit the like while watching the show. It's our currency, and that's what keeps the channel going. So please give us likes. That's what we need. Also, we have let's see who else is new here. We have Peter Day comes in and say, "Evening, beautiful people." Thank you, Peter Day. We have who else do we have? Yeah, we have it's Jimmy. We version 2.
Good work without Joel.
And then we have a football fact check. He comes in and say, "Fact is, footballer today are not real men." Well,
I might agree with that, Jarvis.
Different times, but we can dig into that later. So, Tom, what are your thoughts about the current situation, the positivity or the toxicity in the fan base? How do we move forward from here?
Win football matches. That's the best way you can get people on side. Forget the performance and the way that we've been playing. Just win. That's the way that you can really buy it. And the only thing that really has been a positive in the recent weeks has been that they've had this, under the radar record where they've won games as a team. Manchester United in particular, they've won games, but it's been unheard of. It's not been like a common winning run because we've not been playing well. It's been your 1-0 scraping here and there, 2-1 or whatever. Dodgy VAR decision, penalties. Like it's been a bit of chance and luck, really, and the luck's been more with us. But in the whole sort of sphere of it all, the fan base, listen, everybody has their own opinion on what they see as being best for them. And it doesn't necessarily mean what's best for them is what's best for Manchester United. But as a whole, collectively, we can all agree upon that the football that we're seeing right now isn't to the standard of Manchester United. Not in the short term, long term, or anything. And the common denominator, we always come down to it, is I think the fan base has been soft on these players for far too long. And they have been. As a fan base, we have been. Because it would have been about maybe 2-3 years ago, there was this association with, it was a player FC, it was Martial FC, it was Bruno FC, it was all these different connotations, David De Gea FC. Like, what happens to just Manchester United Football Club? Forget a particular player. If you want to support a player, that's fine. When that player leaves, you ain't going to be a Man United fan anymore. It's simple. If you're a Manchester United fan, you support the club over any individual player. It's simple as that. When Ronaldo said what he said in the interview to Piers Morgan, as much as I agreed with most of what he said regarding the ownership and everything, I stood by the club because the way that he was ill-speaking, it was the wrong place and the wrong time to have done that. Do that in maybe 5-6 years, Cristiano. Not in the heat of the moment because you're pissed off at what's going on at the moment in time. But in hindsight, with the whole fan base, listen, everybody has their opinion if they want Erik ten Hag to go or if they want him to stay or whatever. My opinion, we'll get onto about how the game's going to resolve with Bayern Munich and coming up with Liverpool. But at the end of the day, the fan base, it comes down to what you see on the football pitch. And what we're seeing right now isn't anything of great quality or what we would expect at Manchester United standard. And the thing that drops the ball most on this fan base to annoy us even more is the commitment of some of these players just isn't there. And it hasn't been there for 3, 4, 5 matches. And we're only now starting to see where the manager's grown, he's gone down his trousers, he's found his bollocks, and he's actually taken responsibility for some of these players and saying, no, you ain't playing. If you're not going to put minimum effort in, you're not going to play. We saw what happened in the Newcastle game. Martial, Rashofrd, all the characters Yeah, it all went out of the fire and into the frying pan in the last couple of games, especially in that Bournemouth game. Trusted Martial again up front. What did he do for him? Nothing. Did absolutely nothing. And if I'm being completely honest with you, half of these players, even with the rumours that are coming out where we're not going to extend Antony Martial's contract by a further year and things like that. Listen, these players needed to be laid off 3-4 years ago, mate. They've got nothing. But the one thing as a football club, and I'm at this last point, the thing that Burn does as a football club 3-4 years ago with a lot of these mediocre players, McTominay's, Martial's, is they had time on their side as their career. And the one thing, especially with, say, a player like Martial, was Manchester United as a football club feared that if they sold him to another club, he would go and be that superstar elsewhere because the talent was always there. It was never being able to get it out of him. But in maybe a proper football club with a decent environment for him to thrive in, which is different to Manchester United, it might have been better for him. But at the end of the day, the fan base can make up their own minds on what it is. But anyway, I'll hand back over to you, Jarvis. Big up, my guy.
Yeah. Good points as always, Tom. I see here we have a new member in the channel. We see Football Fact Check became a new YouTube member. So thank you, Football Fact Check. Big up, my man. Thank you.
Just a very quick one on what Tom was saying. He's absolutely right. Well-run football clubs churn footballers. They churn players. We haven't churned enough players for 10 years, for a decade. We haven't done that. He's right about Martial. Martial should have been churned 2-3 years ago. Yeah. There's an argument that McTominay should have been churned 2 or 3 years ago. Rashofrd, there's an argument to suggest that he could have been churned. All of the Linderlof, all of these players could have been pushed out the door. And again, I don't want to harp back onto when I was growing up, but that's what happened. There's a great story about Paul Ince. I told it just recently again, and we all know it. He's at the golf course. Sir Alex Ferguson drives up. He gets a message to him. The gaffer wants to see him. The gaffer's smiling. Oh, we've accepted a bid for you. We can't refuse it. You're being sold. The end. See you later. And he drives off. That's how it was done. Nowadays, you can't do that. You can't do it because there's contracts are so, they just wrap you up in red tape. If you want to get rid of me here, you've got to do this. Yeah. You can't just go with gross misconduct anymore with these players. The agent starts crying. Then the middleman starts crying. Then the player's girlfriend goes into the chairman, starts crying. And all of this, like Icardi's missus did at PSG. So this never happened back in the day. Back in the day, Paul Ince would have gone home to his wife, say, "Oh, but I'm flying out to Milan tomorrow. We're going to Italy." And she's going, "Oh, all right then." Because that's how it is. Nowadays, it isn't. And somebody mentioned a great point, actually, about the modern day player. And he just called it Lingard. I can't remember who it was to apologise. But what he was saying was that Jesse Lingard thought football brand. Now, we all know that Beckham thought about football and brands. I think that's got more to do with his wife's manager at the time, who then became Beckham's manager, realised he got golden tickets and decided to slowly but surely ruin Beckham's career. But he allowed it to happen. But Lingard is a typical plan to build that brand image. And that couldn't happen back in the 70s. They were well known and well respected to an extent. They did our advertising, etc., but nowhere near to the extent that now you've got Marcus Rashford advertising that West Bank. Where's the connotation? Where's the link there? Rashford in the bank. Where is that link? And this is what it's all about. So anyway.
C-Books comes in here and say J Links meow, or what he used to say, his slogan.
He's right. Gareth Bale trademarked the stupid heart shape, didn't he, or something? His heart shaped celebration. He trademarked it.
It's a lot about individualism now in the team sport, and it should be more about the team. And that's I think where a club like Man United has failed a lot. And speaking of players, we have 5 players who's running down their contract in the last 6 months. this season, and I just have a share screen here so you guys can see who I'm talking about. So it's this group of players. We have Wan-Bissaka, Antony, Martial, Hannibal Mabry, Victor Lindelof, and Sofian Amrabat. So those guys will run down their contract. So how do you feel? Should we renew the contract of this group of players, or who should we keep and who should we let go?
For me, only the two on the left-hand side. I'd get rid of the rest of them.
Yeah, I'm keeping Wan-Bissaka. Yeah, I'm keeping Wan-Bissaka and Mejbri. Yeah, Lindelof and Martial definitely got to go. I'm a bit on the fence on Tom. He hasn't done it for me, by the way. Let me be clear about that. But I do think there's a player in there.
The only reason why I say that with Amrabat is the age that he's at, but also if Casemiro ends up going, we'll probably want somebody who's a lot younger, because in 12 to 18 months' time, we'll be saying the same thing that we said about Casemiro, about Amrabat. He's getting on, he's too old, the legs have gone for him, and the Premier League's only going to get faster and faster in terms of pace of amount of teams that are going to play at and speed. And that's where I think when you look at players like Casemiro, the Premier League is coming at the wrong time for the league due to the pace of it. That's the only thing that he lacks as a player. So unless you don't have the pace or the physicality element, you're going to struggle to adapt to the Premier League. And the one thing that you can say, for example, with, say, Bundesliga players, when they come to the Premier League and they struggle to adapt, we've had it with Sancho, Werner, Kai Havertz, players who come to this league and they struggle to adapt, because those players that I mentioned, A, don't have the physicality argument of it, but the one thing that they do have is legs, and they're quick. But legs and quickness isn't all that you have to play in the Premier League. Not in this version of the league, anyway. But I mean, it's a good point that Stu was making before when he said about the story with going to Manioo and the legends of that sort of team, and why anybody shouldn't have the given right to lose to a team like Bournemouth. Look at it. I mean, if you look at it from this perspective, who would have thought that Leicester City would have won the Premier League? That's one of those. And if I'm being completely honest, that's my personal opinion anyway. That's the biggest moment in Premier League history for me. And you can forget about what Manchester City did with the treble last season and Manchester United. Maybe there's an argument for that. But in the Premier League era, that's the biggest Premier League moment ever. Because a club that got nearly relegated the previous season, they escaped by 2 points to then go on and win the Premier League, is unheard of. And it's not that they won it, it's the way that they won it. They went to the Etihad and they won 3-1. They went to Old Trafford. They went to Old Trafford and stuck it on you. They played at their ground, won 4-2. They smashed Liverpool at their ground. It's the way that they won that title is the difference maker. But the problem with modern day football is you have individual characters who they're not built that way, unfortunately. They don't have that sense of feeling of going forward with their career, either individually or not. And that's why I say it. If you take Wan-Bissaka and Mejbri, Manchester United would be more worried about them two leaving and going having a better career somewhere else than the other three. And it's not, and you can take age out of it. The quality that Hannibal Mejbri has a 10-year career ahead of him at another football club. Manchester United would be fearful if he went out there and turned into a brilliant world-class midfielder, like they did with Paul Pogba. They've already been stung with that hornet before. Wan-Bissaka's no different. If you can get an attacking side to Wan-Bissaka's game, he's a complete right back. That is what you would get with Wan-Bissaka. But it comes down to coaching. That's the issue with him. And if you took him to another football club, well, when you play against that team, you already know your left-hand side winger's in for a long day of it anyway. Because defensively, he's solid one-on-one. So that's why I was saying before when I said with Martial, in terms of him personally, 3-4 years ago, Manchester United would have been worried if they'd have got rid of him and he'd have excelled somewhere else. But because he's at the age that he's at now and the injuries have crippled his career completely, it's not so much as a risk if he goes somewhere else. And listen, he might go to France, to a Marseille or a Lyon and rip it up for a couple of years, but that'll be about it. He won't ever win a major trophy. He won't win a Premier League or a Champions League. He'll be looking to win a French league or anywhere where he goes. So his career will be for what? For nothing. But we don't manage players when they come to our football club. And even when we get rid of them, guys, we saw last season, we've got rid of players in the last 12 to 18 months horribly. The Ronaldo situation, listen, it happened. The interview happened. I could understand it from that argument. The De Gea one was weird. You were negotiating with him, then you just cut it off completely and said, "No, David, see you later." Like, for somebody who's done so much for your club over them years, it was difficult. It was more of a difficult pill to swallow anyway. But overall, those players there, hit or miss, Martial, Linderlof and Amrabat's maybe the questionable one, but Linderlof and Martial, they've been here near enough a full contract, each of them. So, what's
Tom,
the
here's a question, pal. Here's a question, pal. And you're absolutely right. Here's a question for both of you. Do you think, though, that players are bothered what's in their trophy cabinet anymore? Do you think it means as much to the modern player? Because I don't.
Not in this era. It's more about the bank balance. And the reason why, and that's only going to be strengthened more and more when Saudi Arabia have influence over football. Is who are committed to actually winning trophies and who's committed to having a big lucrative contract. Because there was one player from this summer in particular, it was Ruben Neves. They put him out on Saudi Arabia. He had deals to go to Newcastle, Arsenal or Aston Villa. Those three clubs wanted him in the summer. And as soon as Al Hilal came in and said, "We will triple your wages that each and every one of those clubs will give you for 2 years, at least if you stayed with us for that full time, you will make double the money that you will do in 1 year at any of those football clubs." He jumped at the chance and he said, "It's not based upon that I don't want to do something with my career because I have the age and times on my side. But I have a family, I have a wife, I have 2 kids, I have all this, and give you the story of it." But that's the harsh reality of it. Money has taken over the football, and it will do for years to come. And at the end of the day, when Saudi Arabia's influence gets that deep and the pockets of their pits go to such as UEFA, go to FIFA, they will have a Champions League qualification spot. Maybe they might even get 2 at some point in the next 5 to 10 years. It will happen, guys. And when they get that Champions League security, that will be not a top European league, but it'll be a world league. It'll be the league where if you want to earn big money and you can play for one of those 2 teams that's in that Champions League spot, you're probably not going to argue against it because you're going to get the European nights, albeit you're in Saudi Arabia, but also you're going to get double the wages that you will at a European club. So it's either legacy or laundry. Do you want money or do you want to play for legacy?
They don't want legacy, though, and that's the thing. And interestingly enough, by the way, where's the World Club Cup being held next week?
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, everything is Saudi Arabia. Everything is going that way. So, Tom, I 100% agree with you. And I realised that years ago that money was going to be the root of all evil. I've been speaking about it, and Jarvis will back me up for years. And people always say, Ivek, people always say, the players play for more than money. They don't. They don't need to. Look at Jadon Sancho. He's just one in a long list of players who can't be bothered. And we can't do anything about Jadon Sancho. The fact that with me, you and everyone else believe that who on earth would want to sign him, knowing what kind of petulant little child he is. But there is somebody out there that will do it. There is somebody out there that will do it, whether he goes back to Dortmund, he goes off to PSG, he goes to Saudi Arabia, he goes to Newcastle, wherever. He will get what he wants. Oh, by the way, Trevor Wade is in the house. He's wonderfully sarcastic. Love you, Pat.
Big up, Trevor Wade. I just want to bring in some of the VAR room's comments about the players who to keep and who to leave. We have Peter Day coming in. He said, "I would personally keep Wan-Bissaka, Hannibal on loan, and I will guess spin the rest." And we come here. We have books. He said, "Activate them all. Try to get a fee or realize as free agents or get zero money." Yeah. So it's always that aspect of the game, and I think Man United are overestimated this aspect of the game. They think the resale value is more important, but I don't know if that's the Glazernomics. It's just for the books or how they are valued.
It is the thing, lads. Right? You get Martial in. You can pay his contract off in January. Get rid of him. You're going to pay him either way. You're going to pay him to the end of his contract, or you pay him off. You do a deal. You get rid. You get rid, and you get rid, and then you get what you can. And the VAR room won't lie. There's some fans today won't lie. You get what you can to see yourself throughout the season, and then you start rebuilding. And you can do this. You could have done that years ago, because you're still paying these players. You're still paying Martial. You're still paying McTominay. You're still paying Linderlof. You're still paying, or we were still paying Jesse Lingard. We're still paying Rashford. You know, Tom Heaton. I know he's doing a bit of coaching, etc. Bayern hasn't even seen the whites of Old Trafford goalposts in anger. Yes, he's been doing it in training, but we're still paying these players. We're still paying their wages. And whether you pay them off or not, you're still going to have to pay them. That's the thing people forget. And, you know, everyone says, oh, the Reguilion deal where he ripped up his contract at Arsenal. He ripped it up for a value.
Yeah.
Whatever that value was, he ripped it up, and Arsenal worked it out. We're going to pay you anyway. So, you know, whether it be over 5 years, we're going to pay you anyway. So he's off. He's off to Fulham. And, you know, Reguilion was quite smart in what he did. And he's, you know, Fulham, in all fairness, guys, are reaping the benefits a little bit from him, you know. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I see books here. He would get Frimpong from Bayer Leverkusen and himself and Bissaka, so he would replace the right back. I see a lot of people talk about Frimpong. I actually haven't seen him play much, but he looks good on YouTube, and his stats are incredible. So yeah, but for me, I think he's more of a winger than a fullback. I've seen his heat map, and he's all around the side of the 18-yard box. That's where he occupies his area. So I don't see him as a fullback in a way.
Got a lot of respect for Box. He's got a great knowledge of the game. But right now, our 18-month program should be Premier League players. We should be doing what we did under Fergie and get Premier League players in, because you can bring Frimpong in, you can bring Kimmich in, you can bring anyone in that you like. They're not Premier League experience. And as Tom has absolutely hit the nail on the head, Tom's thinking 2-3 years ahead about, sweetie, 2-3 years ahead about the speed of the game. We need somebody you want to get somebody like Max Kilman for Wolves captain at the minute. Fantastic. You know, people take the piss out of James Tarkowski. He's playing really, really well at the minute. A good British solid centre half. You want to look at what's in the Premier League, and you want to do what you can. If Paulinia is up for grabs in the summer, we should be all over that like a rash.
Yeah,
like a rash. We shouldn't even be, you know, thinking about anything else. Harry Kane, we let him go. We shouldn't have been. We should have grabbed him. You grab right now to steady your ship. Premier League experience. That's what you do. We haven't got time to go out to South America. Hojlund, you know, Jarvis and Tom, I think is a wonderful talent. We don't have time to bed these players in. We need proven Premier League experience where people can come in, let the shirt weigh heavy on them, because they've already let it weigh heavy on them. You know, the Premier League's weighed heavy on them, and you do it. And it doesn't matter where you get them from, whether you get them from Bournemouth or whether you get them from Crystal Palace. You get players in because you're buying hungry. You're buying talent, and you're buying talent that understands the Premier League. So he knows Box knows I've got a lot of respect for him, footballer, but I wouldn't do that. I mean, look, guys, if you disagree with me, please, let's.
The market, I think the market, to be fair, I'd make this one point. The market, to be fair, when the best British player is out there, Manchester United should always be one of those clubs that looks at that player. This summer, the previous summer, it would have been Bellingham. That was the informed English talent. Jadon Sancho had his summer as the main English prospect talent. Harry Kane was this summer, albeit it's more at a latter stage of his career. It was that there's always that one player. John Stones had it a couple of seasons ago.
That's it.
Kyle Walker was no dissimilar. There's always that one English player who
Calvin Phillips.
As well. There you go. But Declan Rice was more or less this summer as well. There's always that one English player that will always throw themselves into the market. Manchester United, irrespective if they have a player in that position or not, or they're stacked or not, should always be looking at that player. Because at the end of the day, English players, you can take it for whatever it is. If they can do it in this league, they can go abroad and have a successful career in a top European league. Jude Bellingham's already proven it. Harry Kane's already proven it. The mould of English players don't go abroad anymore. That's gone. Finished. Jude Bellingham broke that years ago as a young player, and he went and made a career for himself. Properly. European football. So in this era with football now, It needs to. The standard for what Manchester United should have is young, hungry, homegrown players, and it's not that those players should have to be your superstars. They don't. Liverpool won league titles and Champions Leagues with midfielders like James Miller and Jordan Henderson. So it can be done, guys. I don't want to hear this nostalgia that you have to have top European players.
Very good point. That's a
it
good
doesn't
bridge.
need to.
Robertson, 7 million from Hull. Do you remember that, Tom? Robertson, 7 million
from Hull.
Perfect. Great example.
8 million or whatever. At the end of the day, recruitment can be done properly in this league. You just need to find the right player. Dele Alli's another one. Albeit, his career's fallen off, but he didn't exactly get managed well when he left Spurs. That was the issue there. Trippier's another one there, but he's at the latter stages of it. But the timing that you bring players in, it's the timing that you bring them in. We'd have brought Jude Bellingham in as an 18-year-old, he would have done nothing with his career. And I think he'll have admitted that himself. We will have burnt the talent out of him. And he would be pretty much maybe what Kobbie Manioo is right now. An unused substitute who maybe gets a game here and there. But the market for us, those players don't have to be your superstars, but they can be the example for a superstar to come in and help adapt to. That's the difference. Young players, it happens all the time. We see it all the time. And the brilliant example that I would say, for example, is what Manchester City had done this summer. This summer, they brought in a young 21-year-old in Jeremy Doku. Jeremy Doku knew nothing. He didn't even know a word of English. And he comes to the Premier League, and the first thing that they did was, let's stick him with somebody who is English, who knows this league, and help him adapt to the city of Manchester, but not only just Manchester, take him under his wing. Who do they go and put him with? Put him in the group with John Stones, Kyle Walker, and Phil Foden. That's their little 4-man training group. Put them in a group where they're going to adapt to people who are familiar with these circumstances. Manchester United, you don't do that. You bring in a Brazilian lad, they're going to go with a Portuguese lad. Manchester United. Correct. That's it. They don't go with an English guy. That's when you say it for what it is. Fernandez came into this football club as a Portuguese player. He stuck with Diogo Dalot. He stuck with Cristiano Ronaldo when he was here. They don't connect with other cultures of players. And I don't know what it is, if it's an individual thing or if it's just collectively.
I think it's a language thing in the beginning, at least, and then you build a relationship, and that's just the way it is. That's how we humans are.
What Pep had done at City with Jeremy Doku is the right way to do it. Then put them in an uncomfortable situation straight away, but then they'll grow into the comfortable position with those players because they understand this league and how it works. Jesus Christ, those three players that I just mentioned, Stones, Kyle Walker, and Phil Foden, they've all got 4 or 5 Premier Leagues and a Champions League medal. I think I'd want to be in their sort of group if I'm trying to adapt to a new league. Rather than you come to Manchester United and who are you working with, guys? Mediocre operators. Like what? Diogo Dalot, Luke Shaw, who, let's face it, they've not done anything of any note with their career at all. So what are you going to adapt or learn off of them guys? Nothing.
It's a great point. It really is. And it's one that gets overlooked as usual. But for whatever reason, and I love our fans, I do, and maybe sounds like I'm on a downer with the fans at the minute. I'm not, and Mark, is he our moderator? Mark, isn't he? Brilliant moderator for us. Good to have you, Mark, in the chat. Mark makes a great point. It's okay bringing players in, but if they can't adapt to what Ten Hag wants to do, then we're just wasting our money, and he's right. Now, I'm not saying Premier League players can adapt, Mark, directly to what Ten Hag's doing, but it will give him a better chance of being able to operate at the level we need to operate in the next 18 months to kind of steady our woefully leaking and ship that seems to be sinking quite badly at the moment. So it's picking those right players. And Tom's point about Jordan Henderson came from Sunderland. He didn't come for a lot of money, come for about 12 million quid. Everybody laughed at Liverpool. He's a Premier League winner and a European Cup winner. England's regular. Robertson from Hull, 7 million quid. Look at him. I mean, they've missed him terribly, haven't they, since he's been injured. Harvey Elliott, they bought him from Fulham. Look at him as coming up to his 21st birthday, a kind of regular-ish player, and a very, very good player. Scored a wonderful goal at the weekend. And they take a risk on homegrown talent or try and get talent. We won't do it. And I just think we should. I do. You know, people can disagree with me. It's fine. That's what I love about football. Please disagree with me. I don't want anyone to agree with me all the time, but there are players out there. Max Kilman is only the player he is today down to Connor Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Connor Cody
Yeah.
used to coach him through games. He will
Connor
tell you
Cody.
himself. Max Kilman will tell you himself. It's Connor
Mm.
Cody. I listened to him. I listened. And that's the
Hey,
type of thing.
I just want to say I'm a little bit worried about time as we are passing the 45 minutes.
Sorry.
So we're at halftime, so we only have one half left to get through the program. And talking about Liverpool and you know, my next question is you know, we can't just buy a whole new squad. It's unrealistic, but we need to do something to change it up, and we need to let players go. Yeah, we all agree on that. But we can't just buy a full squad. Let's say 50 new players from the top talents over Europe and the world. That's impossible. So I like your way how to buy new players. You gotta find them in the right market. Young players, British players, and people who will adapt quickly and learn the culture and be a part of the team. But you know, for us to go forward, let's say the next 3 years. Which player would you keep, like in a spine from this team? Because in a way, you know, when Klopp came into Liverpool in 2016, yeah, he bought a lot of players, but he also kept the spine of the players who was already there. He had Milner, Henderson, Emre Can, Lallana, Firmino, Origi, to name a few, and they were part of his I would say core of the team who came to the Champions League final and won the Champions League and Premier League. So for me, who would you keep of these players going forward? And be realistic about it, you know, because we can't just buy from the top shelf.
I think it's a hugely challenging question for many reasons, and it isn't just about, well, I'll move him out and I'll bring somebody else in.
Yeah, try to pick 7 or 8 then.
Yeah,
Like,
because when you're looking to replace a footballer at any level, you're not just looking at ability. You're looking at personality.
Character,
You're looking at where he will fit into the team and into the squad. Has he a history of being a loner? Because if he does, we don't want him. But yet that could be Lionel Messi. But it won't work at Manchester United. It just won't. Is he volatile? Yes, we want that, but it won't work at Manchester United because we don't have enough players with a volatile attitude. And that's just some areas you must consider when you're looking at playing and bringing in players. But like the players that we've got, who would I keep? I'm really, really struggling with that one. And I'd like to say I wouldn't keep any of them. But you're quite right, Jarvis. You've got to keep some players. So I would keep Harry Maguire. People will say absolute rubbish, but look at the man. Just look at that man. That's character. That's somebody now that I would sit alongside and think, cheers, mate. Thanks. Because that's proper character for me. Scott McTominay. I don't like him as a footballer, but listen to his interview after the game at Chelsea. I know, forget what happened at Bournemouth, but listen to his interview. He spoke like a real man, like a real adult. There was no glossing over it. Yeah, okay, I scored 2 goals. I don't care. You know, things of that nature. I'd probably keep Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I like his attitude, this will to win, this I'm not going to give up type thing. You know, I may not be the very best going forward, but I'm a better one-on-one player than anyone else in this club. I would do that. Kobbie Mainoo, I think speaks for itself. I don't need to talk about that kid. I think he's wonderful. I don't wax lyrical about footballers, Jarvis, as you well know, but I just think there is something special about that kid. I really do. It's the same with Hojlund. There's something special about Hojlund. If we can get that right, there is. And then you've got problems like you'd have to remove Rashofrd for me. You'd have to remove. Thanks, Neil. You'd have to remove Antony for me. Martial, you've got to remove. You've got to remove Linderlof. Varane, I'm really stuck on the fence with this one now. Tom, before Varane started, Jarvis was in the comments of the show. In fact, Jarvis has been on two shows where I put comments in, which I've proven correct. The one was I said we didn't need Jadon Sancho, and Jarvis will tell you I got absolutely vilified for it. You don't know football. You've never watched German football. Blah 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 blah.
I know who the second player is.
It was Varane.
Yeah,
I
remember.
About Varane at the time. I said, great defender, but you've got to remember one thing. He's had Pepe alongside him for most of his career, and he's had Sergio Ramos alongside him for most of his career. And what do those two do better than anybody else? Dark arts. They're strong, hard, and would absolutely do everything. And I made that point, didn't I, Jarvis? And I wasn't saying that Varane couldn't play in the Premier League. And I also obviously brought up his injuries, but everybody did that. But I always felt there'd be a weakness to Varane without that type of player. And if I'm proven right, which I was, Varane's played his best alongside Martinez when they were both super fit. No injuries. Varane mopping up, Martinez doing the donkey work, the hard work. So I would keep Varane because I do believe that partnership can come back together. I know that kind of leaves Maguire maybe out in the cold as a third, but Maguire's earned his stay for me. Casemiro, you've got to move him on now. I think injuries are going to... he can't take the Premier League pace. I think Tom was right. Amrabat, I'm on the fence with. So there you go. 7 or 8 there, wasn't there?
I think I agree in a way. I just want to bring up this. We have Football Fact Check who comes in with a 10 membership gift. Thank you, Football Fact Check, for gifting memberships. I will read out the new members.
You haven't given Trevor Wade one, have you? Oh, no. Can you get that revoked with immediate effect? Bloody hell. God.
Trevor Wade was the first up who was giving a membership. And Kenny Mooney, Simon Heron, the DS Perk, Peter Collins. We have Jigsman85, Edward, and we have Judah James, Sir Diablo, Fury. Yeah, I think that's it. So you gotta excuse me for reading your names out in the wrong way, but I try my best. But thank you and welcome to the team, guys. And remember to thank Football Fact Check for gifting members. So brilliant.
Vicky's made a point, by the way, Jarvis, about have we got anything to lose by playing for Varane tomorrow night or Sunday? I think she's right.
No.
I think she's absolutely right. I agree with you, Vic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, the one with Varane, because we don't know what happened. He's been a little bit injured. Suddenly was on the bench. He didn't perform. Ten Hag came out. He was saying that he was about the angles. He couldn't play left center back, and he would chose Maguire on the right. And he it's like a vague excuse. I don't totally buy it.
That argument about angles doesn't stand up, and I'll tell you the reason why it doesn't. 12 months ago, he said the same thing about Harry Maguire. He'll never play left-sided centre-back for me.
He did. He did.
And he said it because he doesn't know he can't have the passing angles by playing that. So if he's going to play, he's going to play right-sided centre-back. Where's he played him for most of this season when Luke Shaw wasn't there to play that role? He played him left-sided centre-back, or if Johnny Evans was there, they just rotated and switched. That was it. But and this argument, I mean, Varane started 1 game in the last 13.
Yeah.
There's a stat for you. That is not somebody, and irrespective of injuries, illness, listen, we know the guy's injury prone, but the one thing with Varane is he never has long-term injuries. It's maybe like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks here.
3 weeks.
It's not normally like 5-6 months down the road and then he comes back and then a couple of weeks. It's not like that. It's normally every couple of weeks and then he's gone for a week, he's back for maybe a month and then he's gone. That's all it is. So it's really weird, especially when we had the injury crisis that we did. And he's never played him, not really even brought him off the bench, hardly, in those errors and times. But
yeah,
it's strange.
Vicky, you can't put comments Like on here. Come on now, girl.
I just want to say Christmas come early. We have a new Santa
Yes.
in the house, so bring a applause. Another 10 membership gifted from Football Fact Check. That's incredible. So thank you again for giving the members.
Just for the record, Jarvis, we're going to get the knee supports on the Zimmer frame, the Voltarol, as Alien Tenno says. You're playing Sunday, kid. I'm going to be getting out there, and don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Let's see who we have. New members is Nalle, TY. We have Raj, RRS. We have Heru Arfin. We have Nas, Nick S, Glenn Högman. Maybe it's Norwegian or Swedish. Big up. We have Minas, Norwegian brothers. Actually, we have a Norwegian referee in tomorrow who will, ref the game.
Pay him off then, Jarvis. Come on, get your wallet out.
Get out.
Yeah, Minas is got a new member, and Mike Fergus. So these are the new members. So thank you again, Football Fact Check, and welcome to the channel, guys. So fantastic. Tom, you didn't get to say which player to keep as the spine.
Honestly, I can't give you 5. I might give you 3, maybe 4, but that's about it.
Give me 3 or 4. That's okay.
Yeah, I can't. 7.
I honestly can't give 7. That's the problem.
No,
I wouldn't keep half of this squad. And I said this on a mate stream before. If I could do what Chelsea have done and just turn the whole squad on its head, I would do. Even if it comes to nothing, at least they have a team full of talented young players who have a future. My football club right now, we're riddled with injuries, with crippled players, Zimmer frames. Half of the squad's over 30 or don't have the legs to play for this club or league. But if I'm keeping players based upon future or characters, like there's maybe a couple that I would keep. I think Martinez is one of those players. I think illustrating the dressing room, listen, language or not, I think the way he conducts himself on the football field speaks for itself. That's how you lead by example. And if I'm a young centre half who's maybe 20 between the ages of maybe 23 and 28, trying to develop as a player, I'd want to be next to someone like Martinez, who's comfortable on the ball, who's always going to be a safe pair of hands to pass the ball to, who's always going to be open. But if you make a mistake, he'll back you up. He'll he'll take a yellow card for you. That's the sort of player that he is, and that's why I think what you said before, Stu, about similar sort of profile of players, likes of Pepe's and Ramos's that Varane was used to at Real Madrid. Lisandro Martinez doesn't have the same accomplishments as those players, but he's a similar character to them, and that's why I think it worked well as a partnership between the two of them last season. But overall, if we epitomise it, probably Martinez based upon character and quality.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw and players like that, forget about it. I'd rip the whole fullbacks out completely. Maguire, listen, he might get to. I think he's earned his maybe stay, but I would sell him while the iron's hot personally, and if we can get a good offer for him, better to sell him when the iron's hot, when it's cold from the summer. We can demand a lot more money than we did then. Kobbie Manioo, plays like that, I would say, based upon that they have a future in this football club. Listen, I'll say it for what it is. Even players like Hannibal, they've shown character, they've got passion, and that's what I like to see at this football club. I don't like to see players go hiding. Like, listen, Scott McTominay, put him in the press room, he's good. Maybe he'll make a good coach one day. But as a leader or by example on the football field, he goes hiding. He doesn't want the ball to feed. He doesn't like. He might like it rough and tough if you go to a derby like a Leeds or something like that, or up against a Newcastle physical players. But apart from that, he goes hiding in most games. That's my issue with players like that. So I'd probably keep players like Martinez, Kobbie Mainoo, Hannibal for the future. Maybe a couple of young players there. Hojlund, I think what Stu said before about that there is a player there is. Because a lot of top European football clubs go for similar players like that, even if it's as a risk. But we've made a massive investment for it not to work out. And you don't spend that much money on a 20-year-old if you're not sure that they've got a future or they've got something going for them. And luckily for us, time is on our side to develop that player. So there is that element there. But I take the characters that we have right now, for example, guys.
Mm.
And the reason why I've only picked 3 or 4 players in comparison to maybe what Stu said about keeping more of them, even it probably wouldn't do if you gave him the chance, Jarvis. But even in saying that, with the crop of players that I don't want in this club, the likes of the Rashfords, the Martial, the Sanchos, the example that I take, for example, is you take Rashford as a footballer and a personality, and you put him on the side of Saka. Different two comparable players. Because Saka as a footballer is professional. If he loses 3-0 to Tottenham Hotspur, he's not going around London partying, whether it's his birthday or it's not. Forget it. If he loses an North London derby, that's not even in Bukayo Saka's mindset. He might have a little family gathering at his house, that's it. Won't go around on the piss around Manchester or around London like Marcus Rashford did on his birthday. That's the wrong character in your football club. And we had this culture 3 or 4 years ago. There was Jadon Sancho, there was Jesse Lingard, there was Paul Pogba, there was Marcus Rashford, all similar characters. Party boys, let's go out on the piss, lads, this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. The money, the Ferraris, the girls, the jewellery, the yachts. We know the personality of some of these players. That's the difference. So that's why I wouldn't keep half of the squad. But I look at some players out there in world football, and do you know something? I don't care what money it takes to get them. The money that we spent on Antony, I'd rather have not spent that on Antony, waited this summer and got a player like a Declan Rice. Correct. Because the character's good, but also as a footballer, it makes sense. Jude Bellingham's another example that I would have done. Forget the money that we spent on, say, a Mason Mount. Mason Mount, I think, is a player, and I think is a personality. He's a professional player. He's not one of these. He's not. I don't think he's one of those players that I would think about in, going out round the town or anything if we lose 3-0 or anything. But for me, I look at the characters in our squad, and I think, in comparison to some of those players that I mentioned, the Rices, the Bellinghams, mentality-wise, completely different. Completely different. Because those players, Jude Bellingham and maybe even Declan Rice, that is the future of England's midfield for 10 years. Future. Half of our midfield right now don't have a future in club football or European football if they weren't at Manchester United. That's the difference. So unless people are going to start calling it out for what it is, like I said, Scott McTominay as a footballer will never make it at Manchester United. He can talk the talk in a press conference or a dressing room, but he can't walk the walk on a football field. That's the difference. But if we start holding these players to account, and managers get the authority to get rid of these players like Erik ten Hag wanted to do in the summer, but because he couldn't get other players to come in to take over their squad spots, what does he have to do? He has to accommodate them. He has to reintegrate them. Because if he got his way, and I'm at this final point, if he got his way, Maguire wouldn't be here. You'd probably make an argument McTominay wouldn't be here. Both of them would be West Ham. Both of them would be West Ham players if he got his way. Regardless of the money, he would have probably stripped down on a lot of the squad. You could have had an argument, maybe one of Dalot or Wan-Bissaka wouldn't have been here. Maybe another situation with Casemiro or Varane if a Saudi club came in with big money because of the age profile of the players. But overall, we've bought players in the summer to lower our average age of the squad. Onanas, Hojlunds and Mounts. But there's no character to those players. They need players to lead by example. They're not the leaders themselves. That's the issue that I have.
No, but you're right, because me, Jarvis, and Mick spoke about that before, Tom. We've spoken about when the class of 92, and Mark's absolutely right, by the way, JB's phenomenal. When the class of 92 came through, they had massive characters. Schmeichel, Bruce, Pallister, Irwin, Ince. I could go on. I could go on. People who would die for you. And who have we got? You're Antony walking in and Scott McTominay's there. No, I know it's horrible to say, but it's true, isn't it? I get that. I do. I understand that because, look, I've walked into a changing room before and I've seen players that we played against the year before and I thought, what on earth are you doing here, mate? I mean, seriously, what are you doing here? And it does worry you. Mason Mount, I'd forgotten it. We got Mason Mount, guys. I'd forgotten. That's bad, isn't it? That's really bad. So.
I see Trevor Wade. He comes in with a comment. Maybe you want to read it out. Who is this Stu guy?
Well,
is it Wally or Woolley?
Now listen here, Trev. get his membership revoked with immediate effect. No, he's
I,
great.
speaking of memberships, I just want to bring out Witterbird, who came in as a new YouTube member. So thank you, Witterbird. Fantastic, and glad to have you on board. And second of all, I want to say hi to the man himself, the boss, Mick Ruby. So how are you doing, Mick?
I'm not here. Am I? No, big up. Listen, I was awake. I've just put in 2 new emojis. You have Jarvis cock his head, and you have me, and I'm planning to put a little bit more. But I've been listening to the conversation. It's so good to sit back and just watch you guys debate. And just want to say big up for was a football fact check for donating 20 memberships in total.
Yes.
And Witterbird, welcome to the family, and Merry Christmas in advance. We're 2 weeks away from Christmas, and also a little bit of an excitement that we are 300 away from hitting 20,000 subscribers, and we've been operating for 1 year and 3 months, to be honest. So big up to all of you since tuning in. Thank you for all the support. Stay beautiful for each other. I know it hasn't been easy to be a Manchester United supporter, but at the end of the day, we got each other, and that's not a lie, like a Bon Jovi song, Living on a Prayer. We got each other, and that's no lie. Oh. We give it what we got, right? Yeah, true. So, just want to express my gratitude. And it hasn't been easy for us to press record, win, lose, draw, or what we say on this channel, win, lose, show. Peace, love, banana, or sometimes peace, love, banana slipped on a banana. And that's what it is. Merry Christmas to everyone. And looking forward for a healthy new year, to be honest. And I agree what you guys are saying regarding modern days football and comparing to the old ones. I mean, I remember when my dad used to play professional football, and I used to watch him. They didn't take bollocking. My dad uppercut the referee for I watched him and the referee flying up in the air, and he was banned for life. But back on the days, they used to rock up and have a fag and cup of tea and go out and play and break bones, right? And nowadays in the dressing room, there is no camaraderie anymore. There's people are just playing for the paycheck and so their own social media awareness, and that's pretty much it. Loyalty doesn't mean anything. They don't care about which brand they play for or which club. Is basically who's going to pay you the most in your pocket.
Yeah.
But that's agents' fault as well. At the end of the day, because a career is short. Career is short, right? You can break your kneecap or whatever. So yeah.
Am I right in saying, Mick, they weren't regulated, were they, agents back in the day? And that's why they've been able to amass power, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's new regulations coming on right now, so agents cannot earn the big money anymore. So that's gone. That's gone. But I just don't like the way football is heading. It's getting to an automated system. Might as well just put bots on there, running AI bots, drawing things. And one thing to another is it's just been a sad year for football and sad year for Manchester United. But, we got to look at the positivity side, because I always try to see positives of things, right? I know it hasn't been easy. I know we've been having a lot of things off the pitch and the sales takeover and everything, but we just have to be strong. We are like 16 games into the Premier League, and there's so much ball to play. And I remember what this Thomas guy came in here the other day when we had the call-in show. He said, well, do you expect us to win tomorrow? They said, I don't know, but it's football. Anything can happen. And that is the beautiful game, right? Remember 1999, right? What happened then? We were in a similar situation, and we got through and won that, Champions League game. So I know it sounds pretty damning. It's not doom and gloom. Anything can happen. And but the mistake that I did is that I took this for granted. You get giddy. Yeah, of course, it's escapism. It's football. That's what we live for, right? We have shit during the day. The wife is complaining. The husband is complaining. The boss is complaining. And all you want to do is to relax and watch your team play 90 minutes, twice a week. And you do I call it this case, my go to a happy place. What was the movie called? Yeah. But Adam Sandler's that movie when he was playing golf, Poppy. Go to a happy
Gilmore.
place. Happy Gilmore, yeah.
Happy.
Go to your happy place. Remember, and that's what it is. And so, do I see us win tomorrow? Yeah,
Yeah.
I see
We will come to the game,
me.
Mick. I mean, we have 2 topics left, and you can stay on and have a say. The first
okay.
topic, I just want to have a quick round around the table. We're just going to talk a little bit about the captaincy, because at the game against Bournemouth, we lost, and Bruno got his yellow card, so we suspended against Liverpool. But it's not just a yellow card that was pissing me off. It was the way he acted on that pitch for at least 60 minutes. He ran around waving his arms all the time. He even stopped one time looking at the referee and waving his arms while the play were going on. He didn't get the free kick, and I don't think that's the attitude a captain should have. He should be the man who goes in front in the war and demands 100% of the players and the team, and set the atmosphere for the team. So for me, I want to go around the table and just let you vent a little bit about Bruno and the captaincy. Maybe Mick, you will go first.
Yeah, I spoke about this on Nuruddin's channel earlier, a couple of hours earlier. But one thing pops into my mind. I associate everything to music, as you know. So I'm thinking of one song, which is Proclaimers. Now, I will walk 500 miles and I will walk 500 more just to be the man close to you. That's a captaincy. That's a leadership, right? To be honest, sorry about the singing voice. It's early morning. It's 5 o'clock, 5:30, 13 in the morning. Read the room, Bruno. I don't know if he did it deliberately, but the referee was giving, yellow cards left, right, center, like it was giveaways, right? Christmas cards for petulance, right? And to do that in the dying minutes, really? That begs the question, do you really want to lead your team against Anfield, or do you want to take a rain check and so I don't get the blame? Big question marks to ask. I don't know. Or maybe it's just the Southern European mentality, bite your tongue, Bruno. But the point is here, what I want to mention, guys, it's that the gaffer is the link between the manager. The captain is the link between the manager and the spokesperson to the team. And you got to set a good example. We're talking about leadership, right? What kind of examples are you setting on the pitch when you are petulant and doing what you're doing? Just shut up, give players bollocking if they're not performing. Go up to them, go in the in the dressing room, give each other a little bit of a smack, go out and play football the way it used to be.
Yeah, that's good answer. Good answer. I think you're spot on. And the thing is, I see Trevor Wade comes in and say, "I have a funny feeling McTominey will be captain against Liverpool, but he should be sure as there's nobody else really unless Maguire." So yeah, that's a part 2 of the question: who will be the captain against Liverpool the next game? So, Tom, do you want to go on Bruno?
Yeah, honestly, do not give the captain to Scott McTominay. I swear to God. I would rather give it to a young player and just tell him go and kick out at some people. Show a bit of passion, show a bit of aggression, show a bit of energy. And even if I'm being honest, I'd rather McTominay got suspended than Bruno Fernandes in that game. I really do, because apart from giving you a goal, he offers you nothing. He honestly offers you. At least with Fernandes, he might have that one moment on the ball where he'll send somebody in behind with a 60-yard pass or play it out wide or whatever. But the petulance of this player, listen, we said it before, and even the incoming owner has made comment on this player in Sir Jim Ratcliffe, in his new book, has made comment about Bruno Fernandes and his attitude and demeanour in the way we lost the 7-0 last season to Liverpool. And going into that game now, honestly, a result for us going in that game, anything maybe below 5, I think it's a result. Perfectly honest with you. So long as it doesn't become a row, it'll be fine. But captaincy-wise, in the Bournemouth game, it pissed me off as well, Jarvis. It's not so much the actions, because listen, if you think you should have a foul as the captain, that's fine. You can have a rant, you can have a rave, whatever. You're not going to get booked for simulation. But it's as soon as the referee doesn't give you the decision, get up, get running 50 yards back to your own goal and defend. If you're in a deep moment in the game where you're 2-0, you're 1-0 down, 2-0 down, or whatever, the team's not performing well, do something as a captain. Stick a player in the stand. I don't see Fernandez as that sort of player. I don't think he'll stick a player in the stand, get the crowd on side, and then say, right, we've got the crowd on side, guys. Liven up, wake up. He's not that sort of player. Anybody who's been to an Old Trafford game, I knew it for myself anyway, personally. I went to the FA Cup final against Manchester City at Wembley. One of my friends owns a box at Wembley, so he invited me down and to watch the game and everything. The first minutes of that game with the Gundogan goal was shocking. The corner ball then, Fernandez, I saw it from my own eyes in that game. He doesn't control his team on the pitch. He doesn't have the leadership credentials. He doesn't have the authority. When you concede from the edge of your box straight from a corner, as a captain, you have to be held responsibility just as much as the defenders are. Because if you're not putting players in the right places to defend a set piece, that is an issue. Because the manager looks at you as his guy on the football field. But he's going to live and die by that decision to give Fernandez that captaincy. But if I'm being honest with you, there was a report 2 years ago, and I'm at this final point. 2 years ago, there was a report when Manchester United were looking at giving the captaincy to somebody else other than Harry Maguire. No player stood up in that dressing room and said, I want to be Manchester United captain. That is concerning to me. It is concerning. Even as a young player like Marcus Rashofrd, a local lad from Manchester, doesn't want to be the captain of his local team, or a local lad doesn't want to be the captain of his football club. That concerns me. Regardless of character, if you put your name forward, what's the worst thing you're going to get? A no. Put your name forward, guys. But in this team, we have people who's won things like a Varane or a Casemiro, and we have people who might bark or shout at people or wave their arms about to get a bit of credibility, like Fernandez. That's it. But there's not that fear factor or godlike character in this team. That's our issue. But overall, as a team, we don't have that Vincent Kompany character. We don't have that Jordan Henderson character.
That's true.
No, we don't.
We don't have that one player who you look at, and if you lined up the whole 30-man squad and you say pick out the captain, you'll just look at that player and you'll say, regardless of you as a footballer, you look like a Liverpool captain. You look like a Manchester City captain. Bruno Fernandes, you line him up against Brian Robson, Roy Keane, you will not say he is a Manchester United captain. In the same way we would have said the same thing about Harry Maguire years ago when he got the captaincy. My position on this is we don't have a player in this squad that can take that armband on and be the United captain.
You're 100% correct. You're 100% correct because, you know, in any times of sports or you go to war, you always look to your sergeant or something for leadership, right? You know, if you go to war, like, you know, you go to the war front, like, you know, you're looking for, like, you know, somebody to push you on, right? Otherwise, everyone's going to die. On the pitch, we don't really have that leader, that somebody, the young players, anyone can, you know, could look at, and that player could just grab the game by the scruff of the neck and like a Rodri or whatever, like City has it, like Rodri. When he's not playing, they're shit. 100%.
Two players in the summer, Mick, were those players that you could have got, Bellingham and Declan Rice. Either one of them, when Harry Kane retires, will be England captain. I will have a bet with anybody. Either of those two will be England captain. Mark my words. And in the future, maybe he might be Arsenal's captain, Declan Rice. I've seen.
We do have one. We do have one actually. Sorry, that is actually my future captain is Lisandro Martinez.
Fair enough. That might be one player, but
yeah. I agree with that. Tom, you didn't give an answer. Who would you go for as the captain against Liverpool?
People will laugh at me for saying this. I would honestly, if I was going to go for a future one, I would buy a new one. But if I'm going to give one for Liverpool,
let's go on Amazon.
Write the names down in a lucky dip and pick someone's name out. That's what I would do, because I honestly can't pick one. I really can't. No. Nobody deserves it.
Tom,
I don't think anybody deserves to be captain. But
Tom, we missed Black Friday on Amazon. We should have bought one then.
Why? Because we're skidding.
Yeah.
Oh, Christmas is coming. Put it on your wish list.
Here is Stu. It's your turn to give an opinion about Bruno as captain.
Well, look, it is the thing, and anybody who follows me knows my thoughts on the captain. I don't give a damn about skippers. I've never paid attention to mine ever when playing. And the reason is because I'm concentrating on what I'm doing when the people and the players around me. And if Mick's to my right or he's just in front of me, I'm talking, communicating with Mick. That's our little captain duo. And then Mick's talking to you, Jarvis. That's your little captain duo. And then Jarvis, you're talking to Tom. That's your little captain duo. You don't need the histrionics of a little armband on there to make you a player you should be. And that's the thing you see, guys. It's a player you should be. Mick's dad's played professional football. He's probably come back and said, our skipper was giving it this. Because, sorry for the language, but that's how it is, because that's what real men on a football pitch do. We don't give a damn about each other. And then when you get in that changing room, you don't have to be the skipper to have a moan. No. You don't have to be the coach to have a moan. You can be any player you want, and you can get in there. You can wrap your shirt around the post if you've had a bad game. The skipper, as everyone has said, is an irrelevance now. And Mick's right, Jarvis is right, and Tom's right. We're better off not having a skipper on Sunday because it's an irrelevance.
Yeah, everyone can be a skipper.
Yeah, how bad is that? And you're right about, people are right about Rodri, but even Rodri, okay, City don't require that one player. They don't need it. They don't need that one
4 or
player.
5.
Exactly. Liverpool, they've got Virgil van Dijk, but they don't really need it. They don't need it. You've got to throw your hands up in the air, haven't you? So for me, that's where I sit with it.
Listen, when I spoke about my father, he's my role model. Like, he's a true leader. Yeah.
He should be.
But the thing is, he was captain for his team, and in that game, the referee, was impartial. They were chopping in the legs of my dad's team, and he had enough, basically, and not giving anything to them. They were just hurting. So he took it like a captain, went up to the referee, and just totally knocked him off the floor. He had enough. He was protecting his team. Yeah. And up to date, he regretted because he got a lifetime ban not to play. But he said, I did the right thing towards my team because they were hurting. They were breaking the kneecaps and ankles and everything.
We don't possess that. Yeah, we don't possess that, Mick. And I find it really sad in today. For me, it's just, I'm going to go up, I'm going to win the toss, and then that's it. If you're wearing that symbol, that thing that's on your look,
anyway.
And it's little tiny things, by the way. They turned it. They change colours of the bands all the time. It means different things. So, if I had to pick one for Sunday,
yes.
If somebody twisted my arm, it would be Big
Jarvis.
Harry.
Pick Jarvis. Pick Jarvis.
Well, it would be Jarvis, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah. Be Harry Maguire. Be Harry Maguire. But I think everyone's right. I do think everybody's got their own viewpoints, and they're all right. I can't disagree with anything you guys have said. I can't.
The only thing with picking Harry Maguire as captain, I'm afraid that the armband will weigh him down in his good form again. Then
weigh him down, and especially on that occasion as well. You're at Anfield. You're the Manchester United captain.
But I'm with Mick as well, by the way. And I must say this. I think Mick is 100% right. I think Bruno's fucking bottled it. I think he's got an opportunity and he's taken it. I do. I really believe that, because any player worth his salt wants to walk out at Anfield. They do. Desperate to walk out at Anfield. Just like people want to walk out at...
They're shitting bricks still.
Yeah.
Pardon my language. I think that starting 11, even when the team bus pulls up...
Don't want to know.
When you get into Liverpool, them players know we're in for it here, guys. We are in for it. When the pyro goes off, the flares, they know the atmosphere's coming, there's the chanting... Can
I just say something quickly about Trev? Me and Trev, he supports a lot of the channels that I appear on, and he comes around. He's always in the chat, and he gives me a lot of it's fun banter. He's a great guy, is Trevor, but he supports true fan channels like us, like AFU, like the Devil's Advocate podcast. He's a great guy. He is. So thanks, Trev. I've never said it, but I'm going to say thanks, mate, because we appreciate your support.
Great guy, Trevor Wade.
Anyway, 43 likes, 50 watching. What's going on here? Do you know what to do? It is free. Guys, if you're on a diet, you will burn extra calories by doing that. You know where it goes? Thumbs. Thumbs, what's it called?
Mick, I'm trying to keep schedule today. We have 7 minutes left, so we're just gonna dive into to the game tomorrow and talk a little bit about the game tomorrow. So if you guys are up for it, I would like to bring out the lineup builder, and we're just gonna pick the team for tomorrow all together. So if that sounds okay.
Yeah, do it.
Thanks, Trev.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna bring it up. The lineup builder. Here it is.
Okay, 2 seconds. Yeah. One, two.
Oh,
before you go, wait. Before you go, we have something here. Bring out your tooty toots and whatever you have, and whatever, pop champagnes and explosions and drum rolls and referee wishes and Benny Hill song. Thank you, Witterbird, for your donation.
Cheers,
Amazing
Vic.
to see you. Cheers, Vicky. Thank you. Your name is Vicky. Everyone's writing Victoria.
Yeah, she's Vic. Yeah, she's Vic.
Big up, Vicky. Thank you. What is the 3 things you could bring back or have new in changes in the traditional teams, ways versus standard? Ooh. Before we continue, that's a very heavy, good question. I like
Really
it.
question.
Mm-hmm. Good question. You want to go
Who's
first?
the most astute?
Oh, for me, standard.
Okay.
Standards, absolute standards. Standards have got to be through the roof. There's one thing that you guys do on this channel, particularly, is high standards. You don't let it drop, and you have to do that in everything in life. I teach my kids standards. Everything has to be standard. You're on time, or everything for me is standards.
Yes, standards.
I love that question, Vic, and it's standards. Now, my other side of it, Mick, I want a hard bastard back in. I want somebody like your dad that's going to step in, we can drop someone. That's
Do you want his number? I can get his number.
Get him, and I'll play, Mick. I'll play alongside your dad because that's what I like to do. I like to.
Like he's 79 years of age. Come on.
He's probably Well, I bet he could play better.
He comes on a cane though. He's a kid. Beat you with a cane.
Yeah, he can play. He can play.
No, I totally agree with Vicky here. Says for me, it's always standards. And we're Manchester United. I mean, as I say, I do expect our team always to do 100% performance. And that's why I'm saying this. Jim Ratcliffe 25%. I cannot accept it. I want 100%. And if I go to a restaurant, I'm not going to order a T-bone steak to eat 25% of it. I'm going to eat 100%. So standards for me, it's everything. Punctuality. I never like to be late, and I don't expect other people to be late. So, it's the way you carry yourself. So it's standards, 100%.
Yeah, very good super chat. So thank you, Witherbird. I just want to bring out first, before we talk about the game tomorrow, we have Bayern's traveling squad, the Neuer, Peretz, Alfonso Davies, Rafael Guerrero, we have Nusir, we have Masraoui, Kim Min-jae, Upamecano, Goretzka, Kimmich, Pavlovic, Choupo-Moting, Harry Kane, Thomas Müller, Leroy Sané. So there's a lot of good players in this squad, even though they have already won the Champions League group. So we will be up against the tough opposition tomorrow. And we all know their manager. He plays like a formation similar to us, like a 4-2-3-1, but he usually goes with the 4-1-4-1. And when they go like Manchester City, like a 3-2-4-1 formation. They will try to attack us on the flanks, and they will try to attack us centrally. And when they come in attack, they will come heavy with a lot of deep runs, and they will try the cutback pass. We saw it against Bayern Munich when we played on Allianz Arena. They did the cutback pass in a couple of times. So for our midfield tomorrow, they need to be up for it. They need to follow and track back and follow, and don't lose your mark. You have to be concentrated for 90 minutes. So 100%. With that in mind, we can start with the lineup for tomorrow. This is... Oh, where did it go? Empty stage.
Oh, there you
go. I already put Onana in goal and Hojlund as striker because we don't have many options as it seems to the moment. So
I can see you still there in the corner. You're still there in the corner. You are the reserve goalkeeper, or?
Yeah.
You put yourself there, looking at Jarvis.
I'm the goal line referee.
the eagle eye.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Keep
so
on.
how do you want to do this, guys? Do you want to pick the team we want to see, or do we want to pick the team Ten Hag most likely will play?
Or pick the team the Tuchel wants.
Yeah.
Jokes aside, yeah.
Now let's do a sense, guys, because we never get this guys right anyway. Do we? Let's
No.
do it for a sense.
Quick one.
Yeah, okay. The team we would like. And I would love if the VAR room would contribute and get the names out, who you want to see. So let's just start on the right back. Options, Dalot, Wan-Bissaka. Mick, you can go first.
Oh, I don't see much changes. Wan-Bissaka for me, 100%. Great defensive duties. 1v1 best defender in Europe, in the world, in the league, maybe. I have him on over Dalot, 100%. Dalot you can bring in the second half for a more offensive weapon if it's needed. I think that if Varane is fit, I would play Varane and Maguire for some reason and have Luke Shaw as a fullback. If not, I would just go the same lineup. Like, I would go with Reguilion and Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. There's no other option. I don't want to see Johnny Evans there.
Okay. Stu.
Yeah, look, I want to go a little bit different. I want to go. I want to go three at the back. I want to play Varane in the middle.
3 in the back.
Yeah, Maguire and Luke Shaw, and then I want to play Reguilion. By virtue of playing wing backs, Dalot. So that's what I would like to see. I'd like to see Varane, Maguire, Shaw, Reguilion, and Dalot.
Oh, interesting.
I know it's brave and bold, but sometimes you got to do like a job.
You look at Jarvis, he's scratching his jaw like,
Yeah.
I know that won't happen, but that's what I would like to see.
Mm-hmm.
Alien
How about you,
Tenno,
Tom?
the man.
Alien Tenno comes in. He repents. He says, I timed out Trev by mistake. Sorry, Trev.
Jack, come back.
Did you give him a 10 seconds span or 30 seconds or 5 minutes or... Yeah, we will know. We will know. So hopefully Trev will be back. I'm sorry on behalf of the channel, Trev.
It's not Titanic, like when she's saying when he's sinking. He goes, Jack, come back, and he's like, Rose. Yeah, please, Alien Tenno. Mistakes do happen. Anyway,
thanks for the super chat.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks, Tom.
I'd stick traditionally to what we've got personally. I'll go Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Maguire. I'd play Maguire left-sided centre back though for me. And I know that when Varane has played, when Martinez has been out, he has reverted to playing him on the left-hand side. I wouldn't personally do that in this game because I think, based upon how Maguire's played, when he's played left-sided centre back and Shaw's played at the left back. Especially, for example, in the Chelsea game, I thought it worked well for us, especially when they switched in the second half as well, even when Reguilion came into the game. So, for me, the way that we set the back four up there, that's how I would have set it up, predominantly anyway. But it depends based upon, again, what Ten Hag's issue is with Varane. Because if he doesn't play him, probably going to see Johnny Evans there, aren't we, guys? And Maguire and Evans will switch places. But we need to be able to defend, and for me, that's the best defenders that we have available right now.
Vicky,
I just want to answer with the bird that this is the team we want to play, not what we believe Ten Hag will play. So this is just a hypothetical.
Nobody knows what Ten Hag is thinking
from us.
Yeah, nobody really knows what Ten Hag is picking. We've been doing that for 18 months. We never get it right. Anyway.
I see Jarle Malmin comes in and said it will most likely be Evans and Maguire.
Get out of here. Wow.
So, do you guys agree with Tom's defensive lineup, the back five?
I love it. Yeah, I love that.
I think that's what he'll go for. Yeah, absolutely. I do. I think that's what he'll go for. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's move up to the midfield trio. Who want to go first this time?
Two for me.
Stu.
Two for me. So the reason that I want to play 5 is that I would play Amrabat and I would play Kobbie Manioo. And that allows me then to play a front 2 because that obviously gives space then for both Reguilion and Wan-Bissaka, and they can obviously tuck in if we're being outrun in the middle when we're defending. So that would give me 2 up top. Shall I go with that or shall I wait?
Well, I mean, maybe it was gamemanship, but I don't think it's going to happen because Scott McTominay was part of the interview today.
He won't. No, he won't do that. But that's what I would like to see because that allows me then to operate with. And I know you're all going to hate me by the way, but Rashofrd and Hojlund, and I think
isn't Rashofrd deserving a ban or?
No, he's ill. He's apparently ill. Rashofrd
He's
and
over now, but he's Martial as well. But
that causes me an issue then because I wanted and another because there's a couple of things for that. I think that I think we'd get at Bayern a lot easier and a lot more of a different type of angle than what we're doing with our 4-3-3. I'd have to consider then who to play alongside him. I'd have to stick Bruno in there then potentially. And then Bruno can play a bit of a floating role in behind Hojlund and, help out the midfield. But ideally, though, guys, I would have dropped Bruno and I'd have played 2 spearheads up at the top. That's why I want to play 5 at the back.
Okay.
Stuart, can I ask you a question, though?
Cool.
Okay. I got you zoomed in here, clipped in. I mean, even if McTominay was in the interview today, does it mean it's going to start, or is it just a show for the gallery, or could he still change his mind and play a double pivot the way you want?
He could change his mind. It has been done before that players have been put up for interview and they're not actually played. Van der Beek was put up for interview, wasn't he, last season in a game, and he didn't actually play. So it could well be. I know what you're saying, Mick, and I think McTominay would play, but I think that's a more balanced 11.
Of course. I mean, I would love to see that double pivot tomorrow. I mean, what you're mentioning there, like Kobbie Manioo, Amrabat, and on top Bruno Fernadez. That everyone has been talking about it.
It'd be a terrific kind of. I think it offers us a little bit more potency. I know it won't happen. It's just what I would like to see.
Or even a more of a Mr. Legs himself. We're talking about Hannibal as well.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not? I think the Amrabat Manioo offers a little bit of combativeness and guile, and I can't believe I'm saying that about an 18-year-old, but he's such a talent, Kobbie Manioo. He really is. I've never seen for a long time players have being able to make time like he does, being able to understand exactly where he is on the pitch at any given moment. I think he's a wonderful talent. I don't drool over players, guys, but I think he's absolutely brilliant.
You apparently do right now.
I do. Yes, look at me. Don't get the love hearts. Don't get the love hearts out.
Okay, so what do we have? You put Kobbie Manioo, Amrabat, and Bruno, of course, on top.
Well, I'm just putting up some alternatives here for you guys. So I'm not sure if this is acceptable but I believe he will start McTominay since he was in the interview today.
He will start McTominay, but I'm in agreement with what Mick said. I'd love to see that midfield because the back 4 there, defensively, that's the best that we've got.
Yeah.
So if we go in midfield, we went for it. I honestly wouldn't be too harsh on if he played an 18-year-old and Amrabat and we were ripped open to shreds, because you've got to give something the other way to win this game. You have to win this game. Yeah. So even if you play your best defenders, you're just going to have to rely and hope that works. And with what you said, Stu, about playing a back 5, I'd more predominantly, because this game's at Old Trafford and the crowd will be behind because it's a Champions League night, that's why I want to see a back 4. Go to Liverpool and I'll have the exact same conversation you've just said. Back 5, use the wing backs to counteract what they did. Ollie did it a couple of years ago to Klopp, and he should have won that game, and he was robbed on a dodgy penalty decision, because that's what Liverpool then ended up getting when they got a 1-1 draw against us. I think it was that Adam Lallana or something.
That's
and
right,
we should have won the game. But in this game in particular, Bayern Munich in midfield are going to play Goretzka, who's a physical player. I think you stick Amrabat next to him, that's fine. The only difference is Kobbie Mainoo's talent. That's something Kimmich isn't used to. He's not used to 18-year-old kids with technical quality ability. He's used to 18-year-old kids who are a little bit frail, a little bit worried on the ball. They don't know what they're doing with the ball. But this kid's different. He knows what he does with the ball. He knows where to pick a pass, and he knows where the space is, and he'll run into it. And that's why I think a player like Kimmich, even though he has the experience and the qualities that he does, and honestly, he'd walk into this United team, even with our fully fit team, easily, hands down, an 18-year-old going up against somebody like that is far more risky for that player like Kimmich than it is if you played Scott McTominay there. Because all he's got to do with McTominay, just pressure him a little.
Yeah.
Give him a kick in the back, give him a little push,
Mm.
and he's not going to want the ball. He'll go running, he'll go hiding. That's the issue. But
I think
that midfield,
Jarvis...
balance-wise, I think it's nice.
You know what? I'm going to talk to you about something that we talked about Nerdin's channel earlier. Like we're going to mention something, and it really was an eye-opener. But I think Jarvis has gone ahead and just cheated the system a little bit, because at the end of the day, I this is the lineup that I think he's going to go with. Realistically speaking,
Speaking, not Varane. I think this is the thing he will go for. He will go with Maguire on the right and Evans on the left, I believe.
Is Lindelof
Evans.
injured, guys? Is Lindelof injured?
What on earth has he done?
Lindelof is back from injury.
He is.
What on earth has he done with Varane? That's a big question mark.
With the rumour is, Mick, that it was the Manchester derby, and when he came out publicly and he said it was down to tactics, Varane claimed in the build-up to it, he was always planned to play the Manchester derby, but in training, when Johnny Evans had the brilliant game they had in the Burnley game with the pass for Fernandez, he gave him the better passing angles when they was pressurised by defenders like Burnley did, because they pressed high up the field in that game, and Johnny Evans handled it well. Whereas Varane, from last season, when he was pressurised on the ball, he didn't handle it too well. But when he had the space, he could pick a decent pass. But that was the only problem with Varane, anyway. It is that in this sort of game where he has to win, he's not got that match fitness, guys. That's my only concern if he does play him. He doesn't have the match fitness. And I completely would start him, absolutely. But if I'm thinking in Ten Hag's mind, that's how he'll think. He doesn't have the match sharpness. And you're throwing him in a game where, let's be honest, guys, this is one of two games that might rely on this guy's job. It could define his job or his future, certainly. If he's out of the Champions League and he gets embarrassed at Anfield. But the team that you set up, Jarvis, anyway, I'm gonna throw a controversial one. I think Rashofrd will play. I think he will. I think
Rashofrd would play too.
I think he's sat out in
That's
the
why I
cold
picked Rashofrd. I thought he'd play.
for two games.
Listen,
He'll be burning with energy, hungry.
He's
no,
ill.
if he's not ill for the game on the day, if he has the chance to play that game, even after missing the training session, I think he will play him, because he's had that burning desire for the last two games where he's not played. That's the one thing that I would say.
So I'm just going to bring this because a little bit conscious of time as well. So realistically, guys, we are realists on this channel as well. This is the team that I think he will go with, but I don't agree with Johnny Evans whatsoever. No, I don't.
I agree.
I don't. The rest I do agree with, but I want to pose a question back to the VR room and to everyone that's in here, because I was sitting and having a little bit of fun on Nerdin's channel, and he threw a little bit of a spanner in the wheel, and he said, Mick, do you think that the manager is throwing away this on purpose because he wants Glazers out? And I goes like, wow, I never thought about that. He wants to speed up the process. Maybe he doesn't want to win. Maybe he just wants, because he's been guaranteed that he's going to stay here until summer at least. He's got a contract. So throwing the same question back to you, because this doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't you play your identity style of football? You did brilliantly last season, and this season you've been picking stinkers and doing, in-game management errors that you didn't do last season and stuff like that. So Nuruddin poked my brain a bit, and I go like, whoa, conspiracy theory, maybe. But what if? Silence of the lamb.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I don't think any top European manager would ever throw a game, irrespective of what's above them. Because if he ends up losing this game and he gets fired from it, his credentials as a coach would be shot. If that's his mindset, that's the only worrying thing that I would say. Because
Well, hang on.
if you have that mindset to lose any game, but
Mourinho did it. He threw his toys out of the prime. He didn't get backing over the summer transfer window. So what did he do? He stopped picking totally wrong different team. He placed Scott McTominey as a centre back, totally out of whack. Managers tends to do that.
I like Nuruddin. He speaks a lot of sense. He does. He's a really good bloke. I don't think I can get on board with that either, Mick.
No. I'm just throwing it out there, like, you know.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Nonsense. Nonsense. Yeah. I don't know.
I think it's hard. I mean, I picked my team from footballing reasons, but you guys are absolutely right. You see, he would never. No Manchester United manager would ever pick 5 at the back at Old Trafford, would they? Because they get castigated immediately. What are we doing? 5 at the back?
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out, then they probably would do. Yeah. But...
Yeah, and you guys, we're all here with great football knowledge. And...
No. Listen, I just throw it out there, spanner in the wheel. Like, Nuruddin throw me a question. I just want to throw it back to you because I was like, oh, I never thought about that because it doesn't really make sense what he's doing at the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe he's confused himself. Maybe he's lost his identity. Midlife crisis.
I would just say, Mick, on a comment of thinking like that. I think if that was the case, Ten Hag would just resign.
Could why?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, he wouldn't throw away his career and playing a game on purpose. Anyway. Wouldn't happen. He would rather resign.
Okay.
Interesting question.
Do you fancy a score prediction or do you want to leave it to fate?
Yeah. Well, tomorrow
you can tell we all don't want to give one when it goes silent, can't you?
Go on then. I think we draw 1 apiece, but I don't think it would matter anyway. I think Galatasaray qualify, and we finish bottom of the group, irrespective. I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think we can win tomorrow. I think we will try to revenge ourselves after the Bournemouth game, and players will come out, and they will be up for it. We know Bayern will try to build up from the back, and that suits us because we are an aggressive team, pressing in the last third. So it will be a different game, maybe more like the Chelsea game than the Bournemouth game. So yeah, I think we can win this game. So my prediction is 1-0.
1-0. Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to draw 1 apiece. I'm going to 1 apiece draw.
What do you think, Mick?
Me? Let's do this one. Can you see it?
Right, I'm doing this after as well. No, spin it.
Okay, pick your team. Pick your team. I don't like the jinx it. It's like football is round, like Zlatan Ibrahimovic was saying. The ball is round, anything can happen. But I'm not going to jinx it. I leave it up to the footballing gods. But I think the worst case scenario is that we rock up for the event. Everyone rocks up for the event. It's Champions League, floodgates. This is what they've been playing for. They will play for the team. And Bayern got battered 4-1 at home last time. And we might get a 3-1 Ruby Classic. And, we can pull through. But on the other hand, even if we play the best football of our lives, I'm just afraid that we would disappoint, get a bloody nose that Copenhagen or Galatasaray will win.
Exactly, yeah.
So I'm not going to get my hopes up, yeah.
It's funny, though, isn't it? We scored something like 13 goals, 14 goals or something stupid like that in this Champions League. And we're facing expulsion. Amazing.
But
Stephanie is optimistic. She said 2-1 United, the repeat of the 99, and Hojlund has won it. At least Stephanie keeping the spirit up.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
And Scotty says, I take that 1-0 Jarvis. I can see it. I can't see it. Can't see it.
I just can't see us keeping a clean sheet. That's my only thing, really.
Yeah, the damned United says I'm going for Bayern 3, Kids United 1. So yeah, not a lot of optimism in this chat room, and yeah, I feel the fan base at the moment. But we can all believe in miracles. It could happen, but the most difficult thing is Copenhagen and Galatasaray drawing, because both of them need a win. So I think even if it's 1-1 or 0-0 in the 90th minutes, both teams will go for it. So I don't think it will end with a draw. Can't happen.
Is that Copenhagen Galatasaray?
This one, no, okay. Listen, this is the new tradition what I started to do, because I don't want to jinx it, right? I leave it up to fate. The footballing gods are for real. I believe in the footballing gods. So here we actually have 1-0, 1-1, 2-0, 2-1, 2-2, 3-1, 4-1, 3-0, 4-0. And of course, it's got to be to Manchester United, or can it be vice versa? So I don't like to pick a team, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? 1-0, 1-1, 2-0, 2-1, 2-2, 3-1, 4-1, 3-0, and 4-1. And at the end of the day, I think the time has come for Lady Fortuna to tell us, right? Guys, like Udo, the octopus, that used to pick the winner in the World Cup. Let's do this. Come on, United. Get in there. Come on, 3-1 United. 4-0. 4-0. This is not true, right? 4-0.
That wasn't part of the script, anybody in the chat, by the way.
No, it's not changed.
No.
4-0. Can we pump them with 4-0?
Okay.
Or will we get pumped 4-0?
Mick, are you a believer? Can we believe in miracles?
That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion. I don't know, man.
Mark is a believer.
Oh my god.
4-0.
Back in the day.
Spin again.
Spin again. Okay, let's do it again. Spin again.
Should
we do it again?
Yeah,
this was a warm-up session, right?
Yes.
All right, let's do it again. Oh, come on. 3-1. 3-1 Ruby Classic. There's more like it. The 3-1 Ruby El Clasico. I go for 3-1. Guys, what do you reckon? Can we win 3-1 at home?
It's more likely than 4-0 at least.
Yeah. Okay. That was a warm-up. That was a gimme. When you play golf, that's a gimme. Okay, just do it again.
Okay, are we done with the casino?
Yes. Yeah. Place your bets.
Wheel of Fortune, welcome. Okay. I see Redu comes in positive thinking 2-1 United. Yeah. So I think that's the end of the show. We are closing up on the 2-hour mark. Any final thoughts, guys? You want to shout out your socials or any other channels that you appear on?
I would just like to thank the VAR room. Been absolutely mint tonight. And yeah, look, if you want to, we'd love you to come and join us on the Devil's Advocate podcast.
It's a great channel.
I'm on that, so please come and abuse me. And thanks to Mick and Jarvis, they gave me a platform on here as well. So thank you guys as well. So and Tom, it's been great to meet you as well, pal. To be fair,
yeah. Likewise, I envy everything that Stu's just said. Same with you, Mick, Jarvis. Thank you as always.
No worries. Send me the invoice and I will send you your bucket loads of Snickers later.
I was going to say, where's my Snickers? I've been looking for it. My drawer's empty.
You need a refill. Okay. Now, big up, guys. And as I said, Merry Christmas in advance. I said my speech. Really appreciate it for this growing community. Big up for the new members that came today. Big up for these super chats from Vicky Witterbird and for becoming a member and everyone that became a member. Keep it real, keep it positive, keep believing. It's like Ted Lasso, believe. That sign, believe. And we from my channel perspective, I think we should be 2 weeks away from launching our website. It's going to be very, very good. You're going to pick your own team. You can do the match ratings, play ratings. Everything is going to be there, fully interactive. So I've been working really hard in the background to get this up and running. And just for your information, if you want to see behind the scenes what it's like to work in the content creators world, check out the video. It's called Full Day Working Manchester United. That's just showing you that a lot of things goes into this channel. Jarvis, myself, we do have other jobs as well, but doing 2-3 shows a day, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. It's haven't you put it out as a members only video?
No, it's not available to public. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. It's the Full Day's Work. It's a video.
For us to get up to 50. So if you haven't liked yet, it's time to give us that final like, so we will get 50 before we go. And it's been a great show, guys. And I see a lot of people saying good night and a great show and legends and big up. And
sleep well.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to have this therapy session. I was trying to go for a little lighter, more positive aim today, and that we all will feel a little bit more happy about tomorrow's game. Maybe we won't be happy after this week. We have 2 hard games coming up, and let's just hope and pray that we can turn it around, and maybe this will be the changing point of the season. Who knows? It's football at the end of the day, so we can even win against Bayern and Liverpool. Yeah. Not that I believe it, but who knows? Everything can happen. The ball is still round, and it's 11 against 11. So yeah,
you got to sing the song. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky.
The sky.
Turning into Eurovision Song Contest. Big up.
Thank you, guys.
Fine. Close the shop.
Here you go.
Good morning. Good night for me. It's 6:00 in the morning. Gotta go to sleep.
Fantastic. I will just find the outro and see you later, guys.
Peace out, everyone.
Peace out, guys.
Oh, intro. Where's the outro?
Okay. Press the button. Exit. Jarvis, you never drive away car when you rob the bank.
Where's the outro?
Let me fix it.
There, Mick.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we have one outro. I found it. Okay. Big up, guys.
Okay.
See you later. Bye.
That's all, folks. That's all, folks.
Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for stopping by TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And follow us on the socials.